Hi students, in this video we are going to deal with the chapter Two Stories About Flying Part 2 Black Aeroplane by Frederick Forsyth. Okay children, as the title indicates, the story is about the black aeroplane. A very mysterious chapter it is. Okay. About the author. Frederick McCarthy Forsyth, CBE, born 25 August 1938, is an English author, journalist, spy and occasional political commentator. He is best known for his thrillers. Introduction. The lesson Black Aeroplane reflects on how one's judgment gets distorted due to fantasizing and how it creates problems. The narrator is a pilot who is so eager to meet his family and have a good breakfast. He takes a wrong decision of facing the storm instead of doing the right thing. Miraculously, he somehow manages to escape with the help of a mysterious aeroplane. It was night time when the sky was clear and the stars could be seen twinkling. The pilot felt peace in being above a country that had fallen asleep while he was flying over France to England. It was 1:30 in the morning and he was fantasizing about holidaying with his family. When the aeroplane was in France, the pilot thought of informing the Paris control personnel about its presence and for instructions. At that time, lights from the Paris city were blaring at him. He informed the control agency, to which they replied with further instruction on directions. The control room at Paris instructed him to turn 12 degrees towards the west. So what happened to him? His entire control system went collapse. After receiving the instructions, the pilot geared up and followed them, while putting the last fuel tank into operation. All this time he was dreaming about his time with his family, and then he started thinking about having a satisfactory breakfast at the destination point. He was calm as everything was going as planned. Now the plane had crossed Paris when he started seeing clouds in the sky. The presence of clouds made it unsafe to travel by air because there were chances of a storm. They were so huge and dark that the pilot compared them with black mountains. He knew he couldn't pass them as it was impossible to go above them or escape them with the amount of fuel that was left in the last tank. The right decision would have been to fly back to Paris safely, but the pilot's decision making was clouded by his wish to meet his family. He so desperately wanted to be with his family and have that English breakfast he had been dreaming of all day, that he took the risk of not going back. Thus he headed the plan right into the storm. It was so dark because of the storm that nothing was visible outside the plane. He started losing control of the aeroplane. The compass and other instruments had also stopped working because of the bad weather. He became helpless. He tried calling the Paris control agency, who had helped him earlier but couldn't connect because of the weather. In the midst of nowhere, when everything failed, he saw a ray of hope when he saw another aeroplane. He felt relieved when he saw another pilot's face and willingness to help him escape the storm. He thought to himself that the other pilot is very kind, as he knew that they were lost and was trying to help him. The other pilot took his plane ahead of the lost aeroplane to make it easier for them to follow, while the other followed him like an obedient child. He was also panicking because there was very less amount of fuel left. It was only then that he started coming out of the storm and could see the runway to land his plane safely. When he turned to thank the other pilot, he realized that the plane that helped him had disappeared as soon as he came out of the storm. The author did not know where he had landed but was not afraid of leaving his plane unattended. He headed straight into the control room to ask about the other pilot. To his utmost surprise, the lady informed him that there was no other plane in the sky except his because of the bad weather. He is left astonished with a lot of questions unanswered in his mind. Next, we have the chapter by Robin McLaughlin. Is an Australian author of books for children. She writes children's and young adult fiction. Some of her famous books are Hating Alice and Ashley, and it is about the poem Amanda we are talking. This poem depicts the state of a little girl's mind who is constantly instructed about do's and don'ts by her elders, especially her mother. She is told not to hunch her shoulders and to sit up straight, but all the time the little girl Amanda keeps dreaming of a life of freedom in the open. Summary. The poet is describing about a little girl Amanda who is always pointed out by her mother for her mistakes and how she imagines her life to be. The poet says that the mother is scolding Amanda for biting nails, which is a bad habit. Next, she asks her to sit straight without bending her shoulders. Amanda has the habit of bending her shoulders and sitting lazily, which is being pointed out because her mother wants her to sit up straight. At this point, when she is being scolded by her mother, she imagines herself to be in a deep green sea. She says that she wants to be the only resident of this beautiful green sea. She imagines herself to be a mermaid who is alone there and leads her life in a very relaxing way. She says that she wants to be carried away by the current of water and feel the relaxing environment of in the sea. Next, the poet says that Amanda's mother is asking her whether she has done her homework or not, and then she asks her whether she has cleaned her room or not. Moreover, she is also reminded to clean her shoes. The mother is constantly asking her questions regarding her homework being done or not, or whether she had cleaned up her room and shoes or not. But on the other hand, while Amanda is listening to her mother's instructions, she imagines herself to be an orphan who is roaming about freely in the streets. Amanda imagines that she would have walked freely in the streets if she had no parents. She would have drawn designs on the soft dust with her uncovered feet very quietly. Her mother wants her to keep everything neat and clean, but Amanda wants to play in dust with her bare feet. Moreover, she is so fed up of these constant instructions from her mother that she says silence is golden, which means that silence is very crucial and precious. She further says that freedom is sweet. This means she never feels free when she is with her mother at home. Next, Amanda's mother is not allowing her to eat chocolates. She reminds her of pimples due to eating chocolates. At last, she scolds her for not paying attention to what her mother says. At this moment, Amanda imagines herself to be Rapunzel. Rapunzel was a character from a fairy tale who was captured in tower by a witch. The witch used to climb the tower with the help of long hair of Rapunzel that was let down by her through the window. So now Amanda wants to be Rapunzel because she feels that life in the tower will be peaceful and unusual. She thinks she will be free and live in a peaceful environment in the tower. She also confirms to herself that she will never let her hair down to anyone so that nobody will come to her in the tower. Amanda's mother now warns her for behaving in a very odd manner. She asks her to stop being in a bad mood. She also scolds her by saying that her behavior will one day make people think that Amanda was constantly being harassed by her mother. So, Amanda is always pointed out by her mother on every small thing, but she can't react to this. If she reacts towards this by getting emotional, her mother takes this against her sense of pride and scolds her that she should not behave like this, as others would think that mother is always nagging her. Now let's see the poetic devices. Metaphor, use of word emerald sea for green color of sea being similar to the color of emerald. The repetition, use of word Amanda. Imagery, drifting blissfully. Alliteration, S letter in stop that sulking. Metaphor, silence is golden, freedom is sweet. Alliteration, stop that slouching and sit up straight.